I'm your host, Logan23. You're joining me for It Lives Beneath Chapter 2. You hang suspended beneath the surface of Lake Triumph. Your new friend Kyle is just vanished in the depths, dragged out of sight by a skeletal creature with blazing eyes. What the hell? What the hell? Terrified, you start to push yourself back towards the surface, eyes straining in the dark for any sign of movement, and then you see it. A huge dark mass surging up out of the depths, heading straight for you. Ah! I need to thrash, swim away, stay still, swim away. In fluid motion, you push yourself backwards in the water. The hulking shape passes within inches of you, leaving you spinning in the turbulence of its wake. That was too close. Your whole body screaming for air, you struggle to right yourself while keeping one eye on the thing that just attacked you. Need to get away. Need to breathe. You pull at the frigid water with aching limbs, reaching for the surface that seems miles away. Shadows creep at the edge of your vision, and suddenly the water is full of black, twisted shapes, circling closer, closing in. Elliot, I'm sorry. You have no strength left. Your eyes close, and you drift into darkness, waiting for the end. Ugh! World comes crashing back as strong hands drag you from the water. Easy, I've got you. Parker heaves your trembling body into the patrol boat, wrapping a thick blanket around your shoulders. Kyle, in the water, we have to help him. I know your friend Imogen's already got some people in the lifeboats to look for him, and backup's on the way. But right now, we gotta get you somewhere warm, or you're gonna freeze solid. You don't understand. There's something down there. Something took him. What? What took him? Clutch the blanket tighter around yourself, suddenly aware of the deep, black water that surrounds Parker's boat on all sides. Hey, it's alright. You're safe now. What did you see down there? But you have no idea how to answer. It lives beneath. I could scare all of you, but I don't feel like it. Just screaming suddenly out of the depth. Morning finds you sitting in a small, cluttered office in the Pine Springs police station. You jump as the door opens behind you, and Police Chief Abraham Kelly enters, carrying 2 steaming mugs. I knew Jackson had a stash of the good stuff somewhere. Nothing like a cup of cocoa to chase those shivers away. Thank you. Except one of the mugs, sipping carefully as Chief Kelly sits down behind his desk. He considers you, brow creased with concern. Alright, kiddo. Now, I don't want you to think you're in any kind of trouble. Goodness knows you've been through enough. But if you're feeling up to it, I'd really appreciate you telling me what you remember from the incident last night. You tell Kelly about meeting Kyle, how you lost track of him as Parker and Imogen argued, and how you spotted him again by the railing. He just was staring at the lake like he was hypnotized or something. I couldn't reach him in time. He fell in the water, and I went after him. Chief Kelly opens a folder on his desk, scanning the papers inside. Officer Shaw's report mentioned you saw something unusual in the water. What do I say? I'm not sure what I saw. It was dark, and I was really freaked out. I thought I saw something holding Kyle, but... You trail off. Chief Kelly considers you for a long time, then smiles kindly. That's fine. Like I said, there's just a formality. Look, you've been through something terrible. It's understandable that you'll be feeling a little bit disoriented afterwards. Why don't you head on home and get some rest? I'll call if we have any questions. You finish the last of your cocoa and get your feet, setting the empty mug on Kelly's desk. He drugged you! So, I know I just only met Kyle and everything, but he seemed like a really good guy. Chief Kelly nods sadly. Kyle was a great kid. He's gonna be sorely missed. I know you probably can't share details of an active investigation, but I was hoping, once it's all over, I'd like to know what happened. A flicker of surprise crosses Chief Kelly's face, and then his eyes fill with pity. Oh, I'm so sorry, John, but well, there's not gonna be an investigation. What? It's tragic, but this isn't the first time we've seen an accident like this in Pine Springs. When someone has a little too much to drink, it's easy to forget how dangerous the water can be. Wait, Kyle's death wasn't a no accident. He didn't just accidentally fall in the lake. Something took him. Chief Kelly quietly absorbs her anger, his face a mask of sympathy. I know this isn't easy to hear, John. Heck, if I was in your place, I'd have put my fist through the wall by now. But Kyle's body washed up a few hours ago. Not a mark on him. The talk screen shows that he was quite a bit to drink last night. I'm sorry, I really am, but I think it's best if for everyone if we just accept the facts as they are and try to move on. And everyone said they'd never kill a love interest from the beginning. How was he a love interest again? But I really think you should be getting home now. I bet your family's worried sick. Gritting your teeth, you pull open the door and walk out of Kelly's office. The air of melancholy shrouds the station, which is crowded with harried-looking officers and party guests waiting to be interviewed. Why does this room look disorienting as all hell? My God, does this room look disorienting? At a small desk by the door, you spot Parker patiently addressing an angry man with a thick beard. Like, this right corner here is higher than the whole rest of the room, and it should not be from this perspective. Oh God. Ah, easy, Ned. The chief's not avoiding you. He's just got interviews all morning. How about I make you an appointment for after lunch? Right. So he can reschedule us 5 times and then cancel on me again. I'm sick of being jerked around. Whoa, what's his problem? You look around and see another familiar figure standing by herself in the corner of the room. Oh, Imogen. Your friends will face their own trials in the chapters to come. Building up the nerve scores will empower them to face the moments of truth head on. Beware if their nerve is too low at the moment, there are terrible consequences, and a person with low nerve isn't just a danger to themselves. They have psychotic breakdowns, oh my God! Imogen looks up as you walk over, her makeup smearing from crying. John. Hi, Imogen. Would you like a hug? Fresh tears well up in Imogen's eyes. Yes, please. You enfold her in a gentle hug, and she buries her face in your shoulder, sobbing quietly. A long moment later, she pulls away, smiling a little through her tears. Thanks, John. I really needed that. Me too. So, dumb question, obviously, but how are you doing? Imogen looks down at the floor, her hands knotted in the fabric of her dress. I just don't understand how this could happen. John, people are saying Kyle fell in because he was drunk, but you talked to him, right? He only had a couple beers. He definitely didn't seem drunk enough to do something like this. I was wondering if you should tell Imogen about everything you saw. But before you can say anything... Don't you get it? Ned, the man Parker had been speaking to, glares in your direction. It's all happening again, and not one of you idiots will do something about it. Hey... What are you talking about? What's happening again? Do you know something about Kyle's death? I know this isn't the first time a mysterious drowning has been written off as a drunken accident. Hang on, you're saying this has happened before? When? Oh, it's been happening for years, and it's getting worse. How much longer will the cops ignore what's happening? How many more have to die before you people see that there's something wrong in this town? Ned's shout echoes in the small space until a cool voice cuts through the silence. I think that's quite enough. Who? He turns, spotting a woman and 2 men standing just inside the front door. The woman speaks again, her eyes are as cold as her voice. Oh, thank you to stop upsetting my daughter. She's been through enough for one day. Would you agree? Glance at Imogen, who seems to curl in on herself, staring down at the toes of her shoes. Huh, she's your daughter. Interesting. The woman beckons, and Imogen meekly nods. Bye, John. I'm sorry about all this. Hey, don't apologize. This is in no way your fault. But if I hadn't kept everyone out past curfew... Stop. There's no way you could have known this would happen. You are not to blame for this, okay? Okay. Imogen gives you a brief but tight hug, then follows her mom into Kelly's office. How would you say it's your fault? One of the men follows close behind. His suit stretches, tied over a muscular frame. Ah, they've gave you a facelift, I see. The other man steps forward, laying a hand on Ned's shoulder. Don't take my wife's words too hard. This tragic accident has us all a little on edge. It wasn't a... How are you, Ned? We missed you at the children's first charity brunch last week. Ned's jaw clenches. Sorry, Vincent. I've been busy. I understand. Keep in touch, okay? You know Astrid and I worry about you. Vincent claps Ned on the back, then goes to join the rest of his family. Ned storms out of the police station, muttering to himself. I'm assuming that's the quote-unquote it kids from when we were, or they were my age. And now they're like adults in the town, keeping a secret. Patronizing son of a... Can't ignore the truth forever. What the hell was that all about? Watch Ned leave. Parker walks over to you. Sorry. You got caught in the middle there. You alright? Yeah, just... Why was that guy so mad? Ned's a good man. He's just had a hard couple years. I can't say I'm a fan of the weekly tearheads, but I'm not sure I'd be any better if I were in his shoes. You stare at the station's front door, chewing on your lower lip as you turn Ned's words over in your head. Incoming diamond choice to follow Ned and find out what's wrong. Hey, Parker, what was Ned talking about anyway? Has all this really happened before? Parker looks around at the crowded station, his face grim. You're done with your interview, right? Come on, I'll walk you out. Outside the station, Parker leans against the wall and gives you a long look, as if sizing you up. After a long moment, he sighs. Alright, this isn't exactly my story to tell, but all things considering, it's something you ought to know. 2 years ago, Ned Mallory's wife, Deidre, vanished in the middle of the night. No note, no belongings missing, she was just gone. That's terrible. Did they ever find out where she went? They did. 3 days later, they found her body washed up on the shore. She drowned in the lake. Holy crap. Let me guess. Her death was an accident, too. Wasn't much else we could call it. There was no sign she'd been forced in, no injuries, no signs of some struggle, except... pauses, his brow furrowed and thought. Let me guess, signs she was drunk. Except what? As you probably surmise, Ned's not too happy about how Pine Springs PD handled his wife's case. He lives in a beat-up house just down the street. Anytime he's feeling shouty, well, he tends to wander over and unload on a certain rookie cop who just happens to have a desk by the door. Ouch, lucky you. Anyway, a few weeks ago he mentioned that on the night Deidre disappeared, the back door was forced open from the inside. Wait, so Deidre broke out of her own house? Why not just unlock the deadbolt or whatever? Parker holds up his empty hands, offering no answer. It's certainly odd, but Chief said there's no evidence of foul play, so they declared it a tragic accident. Something tells me you believe there's more to that story. Parker considers for a while, and then nods to himself. You're right. None of this sits well with me. I can't shake the feeling that we're missing something. But I'm also not quite ready to believe Ned's theory that the lake is cursed. Parker's comment hits you like a punch to the gut, and for a moment you struggle to breathe. A curse on the lake? Does Ned know about the creature I saw? I need to get to the bottom of this. Grab your phone to check the time and realize that you have several missed calls from Elliot. Shoot. I guess talking to Ned will have to wait. I'd better get home. How do I get to Ponderosa Road from here? Ah, Ponderosa, restaurant I haven't heard of in about a decade. You just follow Lakeview around the east side of the lake. It's a bit of a walk, though. If you'd rather not be alone, I'd be happy to take you home. Would you now? Wait, aren't we in high school? What? Hey, Pixelberry. You raise an eyebrow at Parker. He stares back at you for a second, then his eyes go wide. Oh, I mean your home. I will take you to your home, and then I will leave. I'm offering you a ride in my car. I think I'm just gonna shut up now. Ah, you don't get around much, Parker. Okay, so is our MC under 18? Though it is legal if he's 17 in like 48 out of 50 states, but I'm just saying. Ride home with Parker for a chance to get to know him better, and to give you both a nerve boost. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a long walk right now. Maybe it'll help to clear my head. Fair enough. I probably ought to get back in there anyway. Sure you're gonna be okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. Thanks. The brothers in high school, we're taking a break before college. Okay. With a wave, you start walking down Lakeview Boulevard, in your mind churning with uneasy thoughts. Thank you, Lily-chan. The front door swings open as you approach Grandpa's house. Elliot steps out, chatting animatedly with a boy about his own age. This is why you all should join Twitch. You listen to that album I linked you? Fine. I'm willing to give Nine Inch Nails another try if you promise you'll check out Glitch Mom. I swear, not all music that came out of this decade is what you call mindless bro step. I believe that when Elliot finally spots you, stopping in his tracks. Oh, is this brother getting like in a hookup? Hey, Scooter. John, you're back, and you're kind of with a person, other than your brother or your grandpa. I am indeed. Gonna introduce me? Elliot blushes as he turns to his friend. Right, Robbie, this is my older brother, John. This is, Robbie? The other boy steps forward, flashing a charming smile. Hi, I'm, Robbie Sutcliffe. I just came by to let you guys know about the Lake Day Festival coming up next week. Robbie pulls a pamphlet from his bag and holds it out. He leans forward as you take it, lowering his voice conspiratively. Between you and me, Elliot was kind of freaking out when I showed up. He was really worried about you. Don't be too hard on him, okay? I won't. Thanks for keeping him company. Robbie smiles again, turning to wave at Elliot. I'll, text you later. Yeah, sure, whatever. Robbie hops on his bike and takes off down the road. As he rides out of sight, Elliot crosses his arms, looking at you sideways. It's been a wild party. You crashed at the fancy girl's boat or what? No, I was in the police station, kiddo. Not exactly. Well, the grandpa figured out you never came home last night, and he's... And speaking of grandpa... Both flinch as an angry voice yells from inside the house. I'm trying to remember the voice we gave him. Is that John? That didn't sound like it at all. I need to see him because that's how I draw voices. And I forget him. Let's go with... Okay, hold on. Is that John? You kids get your asses in here right now. Let's go with that. This... Yep. Sighing, you follow Elliot inside. I think it was something like this. Yeah, it was actually like this. Your grandpa glares at you from the kitchen, a half-full pot of coffee cooling on the counter. What part of be home before sundown was confusing to you? Or did you just decide you knew better? First off, I didn't know about your curfew. I'm an adult. Nice to see you too, Gramps. I'm fine, by the way. Thanks for asking. You got some nerve sassing me after you violated the one rule I gave you. I'm not going to just blindly obey whatever orders you bark at me. Maybe I'd respect what you'd have to say a little more if I felt like you had an ounce of respect for me. Well, pardon me if I don't find staying out all night partying to be respectable behavior. Oh, for the love of... I'm not just getting home from the party. I was at the police station. Oh, so someone called the cops on your little shindig? So'd you ride? I was at the police station because someone died. You trail off, clenching your fists so hard that the nails dig into your palms. Elliot stares at you, his mouth hanging open in shock. John, you saw someone die? In the kitchen, Grandpa falls suddenly quiet. His face unreadable. You take a deep breath and slowly let it out. Look, everything just happened so fast. Honestly, I'm still having a hard time thinking straight. I'm sorry I didn't call. You must have been worried sick. Grandpa stares at you for a long moment, hands clutching the edge of the counter. You should have listened to me. None of this would have happened if you kids had just minded your elders. From now on, you'll both be in your room an hour before sundown. There'll be hell to pay. Without another word, he walks out of the kitchen and into the boat shop, slamming the door behind him. Great. Good talk. Thanks, Gramps. Made breakfast? Fuming, you stomp up the stairs to your room. Hey, psst, hey, get the cold coffee. I don't give a shit if it's cold or not. There's coffee. Angry and exhausted, you change in your pajamas and flop down on one of the narrow beds. What a day. Elliot comes in a moment later, pausing in the doorway. I picked that bed. Got a forklift? Because that's the only way I'm going to move right now. Welcome to being the oldest brother. Get screwed. Whatever. Elliot walks over to the other bed and sits down. The two of you sit in silence for a long while, never saying a word. Eventually, you hear rustling and glance over to see Elliot fiddling with a folded sheet of paper. Is that one of Robbie's flyers? Yeah, why? Nothing, just... You're totally crushing on him. What? No, John, he's a guy. Yeah, and? Oh my god, not a guy! We live in 1960 all over again! Whoa, okay, slow down. I was just teasing you. Well, don't. That's not funny. I don't like... I'm not... Oh, God. God forbid you think you're bisexual or gay. Elliot trails off, cheeks flushing red. He drops the flyer and crosses his arm defensively. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad, but... Just to be clear, hypothetically, if you did like Robbie or another guy, that wouldn't be a big deal. Elliot glances up at you for a half second, then looks away again. I don't, but... You really mean that? I mean it. Another long silence falls over the room. The wind rustles through the trees outside. I wish I knew what happened to Mom and Dad. What really happened? What? You don't buy the cops burglary gone wrong theory? Maybe. When they said that, I was like, is that even a real thing? Do those actually happen outside of a cheesy crime show? But honestly, none of this feels real. It feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare and I can't... Ellie stops himself, staring hard at the floor. Yeah, I know what you mean. Stuff's really messed up, huh? Mom and Dad, now this person you saw at the party. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about that. It's just, with everything that's been happening, I just wanted to pretend everything was okay for a minute. A surge of emotion starts to rise inside you, threatening a spillover. You focus on your breathing, willing yourself to stay calm, to be strong for Elliot. It is gonna be okay, Elliot. I promise. You can't be sure about that. Yeah, I can. Because no matter how weird or messed up things get, I've got your back. Always. I know. Thanks, John. You're welcome, Scooter. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna pass out for... well, forever. Don't touch my stuff. Look who's talking. You're the one who stole my bed. Smiling, you roll over on your side. Tomorrow, I'll go see what Ned knows about all this, but for now... Your eyelids droop, then close, and you sink into an exhausted sleep. Sometime later, you startle awake to the sound of wind rattling your windows. You look around, eyes slowly adjusting to the dark room. Why would you gasp for that? Come on, that's a bit too soon. Nearby, you can barely make out the form of Elliot asleep in the other bed. What time is it? The clock reads 10:45 p.m. Sighing, you flop back onto your bed, but after sleeping most of the day, you feel wide awake. Oh, if only I could feel that. With nothing to distract you, your mind quickly returns to familiar horrors. The blood on the wallpaper, broken glass, Kyle's desperate pleading eyes. Damn it. You sit up in bed, hugging yourself tightly. The clock reads 10:49. It's not that late. I wonder if Ned's still up. One way to find out. Slipping on your shoes, you creep over to the window and ease it open, climbing out onto the roof. Ah, did you shut the window behind you so whatever is outside doesn't grab your brother, or are you one of those? You gently slide down the window, shut behind you. Ah, there we go. For a few tense heartbeats, you wait, listening for any signs that you were heard. But did you lock it, though? Aha! No, no sign. When no sound comes from the inside of the house, you creep to the edge of the roof and lower yourself down to the ground. You're about to start towards town when you hear something splashing in the water behind you. Ah! You clap both hands over your mouth to choke off a scream. Images of shadowy tears with burning eyes flash through your mind. Not here, not again, please. Slowly, painfully, you force yourself to turn and face whatever horror is crawling from the lake to attack you. And instead, you see a soft, flickering glow bobbing in the waves near the edge of the dock. Oh, look! It's our diamonds! Another message in the bottle. Where are these coming from? The bottle light flickers, growing dimmer. Ah, they're going to be 12 diamonds apiece. In the future. I don't have time for this. You didn't read page 2 of 9. You turn away from the water and start off down the road. Behind you, the bottle flickers again and then fades away entirely. Don't worry, I'm sure at the end of the book we'll get an opportunity for them to fade back in existence. The illusion of choice. After a long walk through the sleeping town, you find your way to the neighborhood where Ned Mallory lives. Parker said it was a beat-up house, somewhere down the street. Ned's the only one who has admitted something fishy about the Kyle's death. I need to learn what else he knows. Determined, you march around the corner and nearly collide with a girl walking in the other direction. Ah! The girl fumbles with a large camera in her hands, nearly dropping it. Hey! Maybe watch where you're going. Sorry? I didn't see you. Oh, she's so stern and mad. Lisa Cuddy, is that you? What are you doing tomorrow night with the camera? The girl looks down at her camera and then back up at you. Birds. I'm photographing birds at night. In the middle of the night. Owls are birds. In the middle of the night. Fair enough, just saying though. You probably shouldn't be here after dark. Then what are you doing skulking around after dark? You know there's a curfew, right? Maybe I'm Pine Springs' newest vigilante crime fighter, making sure the streets are safe for people like you. The girl snorts, stowing the camera in her shoulder bag. Right. And I'm a private eye, mild-mannered barista by day, gumshoe by night. That's me. Well, we'll both remain a mystery then. Guess so. The two of you go your separate ways. You glance over your shoulder, watching the girl as she disappears around the corner. Why is everyone in this town so secretive? Didn't you just become secretive too? Not the person sneaking out to bang on a stranger's door in the middle of the night. He's speaking to himself. Shh. Soon you find yourself in front of a house near the end of the street that has definitely seen better days. This must be the one. Nervously, you walk up to the front door and knock. A shadow moves in the window, and a second later the door flies open. Who the hell are you, and what do you want? I like your beard. Sorry to bother you. I'm John. We kind of met at the police station earlier today. Recognition dawns on Ned's face, which immediately darkens with anger. What? The cops get tired of telling me I'm crazy, so they send you instead? Whoa, that's not what I don't give a damn if anyone believes me. So you go back to Chief Kelly, and you tell him... I'm not here because of Kelly. I'm here because of something happened to me, and I think you know something about it. I need to know... what lives in the lake? Lots of things. Otters, frogs, fish, the whole damn ecosystem. Ah, you're being a smartass. You know what I mean. There's something evil down there, and I saw it take Kyle Garza. Ned suddenly looks around, scanning the dark street. Get inside. It's not safe to talk out here. Ned hurriedly closes the door behind you and ushers you inside a messy living room. Sorry, I don't have a lot of company over these days. Ned shoves a pile of laundry to one end of the couch, clearing a place for you to sit. Thanks. Settling down, you try not to stare at the wall covered in photographs, newspaper articles, and frantically scrawled notes. Ned sits down in a chair across from you, hands clasped, eyes feverish. You say you were there when the Garza boy died? Please tell me what you saw. You tell him everything. The feeling of being transfixed by the water, the emptiness in Kyle's eyes as he fell. When you get to the skeletal creature you saw in the lake and the shadows that came after you, Ned gets up and begins to pace. I knew it. I knew something made her do it. It's only the thing that makes sense. Deirdre would never. Ned trails off, his bloodshot eyes staring into the empty space between you. Ned, earlier you said those mysterious drownings have been happening for a while? Yeah. Here, take a look at this. Ned walks over the wall of cut-out articles, photographs, gesturing wildly. I started digging around after Deirdre's case was thrown out. Those drownings, they go back 20 years. The story's always the same. Someone vanishes in the middle of the night, no sign of forced entry or foul play. Then hours later, or days, they wash up on the beach, dead. How has no one else seen this pattern if it's going on for this long? At first, it only took a person every few years, but lately it's been happening more and more. Deirdre, she was the third person to disappear that year. Your friend Kyle's the second this month. In such a small town? Really? That explains the bars and the windows, why this place feels so weird. When Tom and I were passing over the center of the lake, I felt something. It felt like pure hatred, like a bottomless pit of rage and destruction. We have to do something to Ned. We have to find out what that thing is and how it's killing people. Ned walks over to you and kneels down, clasping both of your hands in his, there are tears in his eyes. John, I can't tell you how much this means, to have someone finally believe me after all this time. There have been times when I didn't quite believe myself, when I thought maybe it was just an accident or worse. I felt her leave, you know? I woke up when she got out of the bed, and I just went right back to sleep. Oh, Ned. Ned squeezes your hands tightly, smiling up at you through his tears. Thank you. I've been carrying this burden alone for so long, and now I want you to have something. Ned pulls back a sleeve, revealing a bracelet made of woven cords. You reach out to touch the bracelet, and a light, vibrant tickles your fingers. Whoa, what is it? I found it by the lake a few weeks ago. I don't know where it came from, but I knew there was something special about it. A few days later, I was about to cross the street, and when this thing started glowing and buzzing, and I was shocked, I stopped in my tracks. A split second later, this pickup blows past a stop sign. If I hadn't stopped, it would have run me down. Let me guess, Diamond Choice to take the bracelet. Ned pulls the bracelet off his arm and holds it out. Please, take it. You're sure? This thing saved your life. And maybe it'll save yours someday. It's strange, but I feel like you're meant to have this. Please take it. You start to reach for the bracelet, feeling an almost magnetic pull. Oh, look at that! Called it! Certain items are attuned to particular people. Each character will have a chance to obtain a special item and one ruin item. All items will be stored in your inventory. Collect all 10 to make sure you and your friends are equipped for the trials ahead. The omen bracelet special item will give you a heads up when danger is nearby, which is also a nerve boost. Oh, look at that! You know, I call it like I sees it, and I call it like Pixelberry or greedy. Let Ned keep it. You sigh, letting your hand drop. I'll die, and then the game will revive me, so it really doesn't matter, so I just save 16 diamonds. Thank you, but I can't accept this. You need the protection as much as I do. If you're sure. Oh yeah, I'm real sure. Oh look, isn't that pretty? There's a moth and a lantern. Look, oh no, let's take a look at this. We have a skeleton key. Looks like rope or a jump rope, a book, a torch, a sword, a gun. I don't know. Maybe Bluetooth earphones, I don't know. Something round and knuckles. Okay, moving on. Ned stands, suddenly smiling from ear to ear, the relief and joy on his face making him look years younger. I nearly forgot what hope felt like. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I feel like maybe you and I can actually make a difference. John, maybe together we can save. Ned trails off, his smiley slowly melting away. What? Is something... And then you hear it, a high, urgent buzz like a bee trapped in a jar. You look down at the bracelet in Ned's hands, which pulses with blue-green light. Your blood turns to ice. But that means that danger is right around the corner. You let out a yelp of surprise as Ned drags you to your feet, his face pale with fear. Ned, what's... Glass shatters in the next room, followed by the sound of heavy footsteps. Hide. Oh, and the bracelet's gonna protect him, right? Before you can protest, Ned shoves you behind the couch and out of sight. You peek around the side of the couch as 3 figures enter the room, all wearing hooded robes, their faces masked by the shadow. What the... Ned grabs a poker from the fireplace, voice shaking as the figures begin to advance. Whoever you are, you've got 5 seconds to get the hell out of my house before I... The tallest figure suddenly lunges forward. Ned swings the poker at the man's head, but he blocks it easily with one burly forearm. While Ned and his attacker face off, you see one of the other figures reaching into his sleeve. He darts forward, moving almost too quick to follow. You open your mouth to shout a warning. Ned! You see a flicker of silver, and then the man's knife slams up to the hilt into Ned's stomach. Oh! No. Well, so much for the bracelet protecting Ned. Wah wah! Chapter 2 complete. Nerve? We don't care, because we didn't get to see him. 5 out of 10, 5 out of 100, or 5 out of 100. Unknown. 15 out of 100. 25 out of 500. Group status, haunted. Ah, we get to save Tom. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And then we don't know who the hell's in that. Maybe it'll be a mysterious savior for all of us. It's Jesus in an ice box. I had to. I just had to. So, while I'm liking this, okay? While I'm liking this, it's interesting how there's these hooded people. It's also interesting how... Oh, no, the cop did show up as haunted, didn't it? Okay, so he did show up. So who was missing besides the parents? Could they be high school students or maybe college students? Could they be maybe some of the parents? Question mark. Why do I get the vibe that this is like that one Marvel show where the parents are all doing their one thing and they sacrifice one homeless person to whatever higher power so they can continue to have what... You know, I watched briefly that show and I got really bored of it because it starred the guy from Buffy, who also starred as Piccolo in that horrific Dragon Ball Evolution movie, which is probably the worst thing I've ever, like, seen in my life. If you could have taken my eyesight before that, I would have actually been appreciative. But yeah. Yeah. Why do I get that vibe? Like, these people are probably doing this for powers. Remember, if we go back to It Lives in the Woods, that certain people got powers for giving tribute and you know, doing things like that to the evil spirit in the house. So, why do I get that vibe? That this is people who sacrifice. And that basically this thing is becoming more bloodthirsty, so they're picking people. I also get the Sam and Dean kind of vibe of Supernatural, of where they might pick someone, and then they might put a cursed object either near them, or have them touch the cursed object, or something. Like, that may have been why Kyle just... He was as close as possible to the source, and maybe had, like, a witch omen thing in his pocket or on him or near him that controlled him to dive into the water, and he had no control, and only when he was in the water did it break the control, but it was already too late because the thing was grabbing him. I get that vibe. But anyway, I hope y'all did enjoy. Remember to please like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you'd like to support me and my content. Remember, we're on Twitch, and we're doing some spooky games. I've been trying, like I said, I've been trying to power through getting well. It's worked for the most part. It got 60% out of my head. However, that 60% then went to my stomach and lungs. So, yeah. Um, yeah. Thank God for Sudafed. Oh, I'm trying to feel better because I had a bunch of shit planned. I have a day to do a bunch of shit. I was going to do Halloween event in Overwatch. I was going to do Halloween events in World of Warcraft. I was doing gameplay for haunted games. I wanted to get Fear done. I wanted to do Outlast. I wanted to do Fear 2, Outlast 2, everything for Spooktober, aka October. And yeah, so those are things that I was working on. And yeah. So, stay tuned for the other 2 chapters today. Yes, I know I gotta do Desire and Decorum. Yes, I know I didn't get it done. Yes, I've been sick. Please don't message me on Facebook and just be selfish and be like, so when you gonna do Desire and Decorum? Please don't do that. That's kind of really irate and pisses me off. Because it's like, hey, I don't give a shit about you. I just want my shit. Like, I'm just gonna block people who do that. There's a reason why, and especially when I did videos and social media updates that I was sick, and then you just come at me with that shit. That's very uncool. You know? It's very uncool. I don't do it to anybody, and I don't demand things, and I know people have lives, especially content creators. Do keep in mind I'm a human being who does have illness. So, without further ado, thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.